Welcome back, investors. Now, today we're going to do an update for September 2024. So at the moment, let's look at what the situation of the portfolio was last time. So in our last video, the portfolio stood at 97,737. I did a video just before that where I went past 100k and there was a market downturn which reduced my holdings to below 100k. But this time around, we've not only gone past the 100k mark again, but we've absolutely smashed it. So the market has been doing really well. So as you can see, the current standing of the ISA is at 88,503, whereas last time it was 82,594. And in the investor count last month, it was 15,143. This time round is 16,092. And if you look at the respective gains, so the ISA was standing at 5.13% last month, and now it's at 12%. So we're looking at an extra almost 7% in gains over the last month, which is crazy, and 10% more or less in the investor count. So let's look at some of the holdings that did well. So as you can see, overall, most of my stocks were in green. The best performer was Tesla at 19.51%. And then there was a mining stock recovery where both my mining stock holdings, Rio Tinto and BHP, did really well. So BHP up 12.1% last month, and then Rio up 11.07%. The worst performing stock was KLA at minus 8.11%, but the semiconductor stocks are seeing a bit of a recovery recently, so things are looking on the up. So let's look at the account itself. This is it in all its glory. So as you can see, standing at almost £90,000 and a 9.5k gain on the ISA, which is I'm really happy about. Let's look at some of the stocks that generated well. As you can see, quite a lot of green everywhere. AbbVie down just over 1%, so not doing amazingly, but as you can see, I'm up over 1.1k in gains, 30%. Now this is the one I've been loading up a lot, Google, Alphabet. I think this is one that's gonna do really well going forward. As you can see, in the last month it's up 5.5%, and I've been loading up pretty much a lot of the dividends I've been paid, which this month has been my biggest dividend paying month this year, which it normally is in September. I've been putting it into Google because I think going forward it's gonna do very well. So the holding has gone just past £5,000 right now with a 6.23% gain. Amazon up 4.5% last month. This is a little bit of a sideways moving stock at the moment, but the fundamentals of the business are really good, so we'll see a recovery in the near future, I believe. Apple overall, I'm up 17.16% on this holding, so a gain of £393. In the last month, it's up just under 1.5%. As I mentioned, the semiconductor stocks are doing not so great at the moment, but their profit margins and profit in general are really good. So again, I see a recovery in the near future. This one just down 1.35%. We ride the wave until it recovers. So BHP Group, I mentioned earlier, the mining stocks have done a good recovery recently. So this one is up actually 16.68%. The figure I showed you on the spreadsheet earlier was 2 days out of date, and the market has recovered even more since then. So 16.68% for BHP, and it pays a strong, hefty dividend, which I will show a little bit later on. BP, so the oil stocks are struggling a little bit at the moment with oil prices going down. So last month it was down just 1.7%, but again, a decent dividend payer. Broadcom down 1.35%, but overall I'm up just under 28% for a £399 gain. Carnival up just under 3% at 2.83% to be precise, but overall I'm up 25% on this stock, and I think this is a stock that will do well in the future as the company pays down debt that it took on during COVID, which it had no choice, but otherwise a profitable business. And once they start paying down this debt, which they are doing, I think you'll see this stock recovering to closer to its pre-pandemic levels, which was at £50 a share. So even if we get halfway to that, that is a really strong gain. Centrica, one of the utility companies, This was one of my bigger performers in the last year or so, but recently it's been struggling a little bit. So down just under 8% for the last month, but this one is a big dividend payer. So yeah, I'm holding a lot of these for their dividend, and hopefully a bit of recovery soon. Next up is Costco, moving a little bit sideways, up just 0.3% last month. This is one that divides people because it is quite expensive. The PE ratio is quite high if we look at it at 54, but it keeps smashing its earnings and figures, and yeah, the revenue keeps going up. So this is one I'm holding for the time being. ExxonMobil, there was a recovery in oil stocks, as I mentioned. As you can see, up 6.24% in the last month. Again, a very strong dividend payer, and I'm up over 1k on this holding at 33%, one of my longer term holdings that I have. IBM, this stock keeps smashing it. I swear, I'm up 53%, so £1,786 gain. A holding that I have, which is over 5k, and last month is up 10.68%. So it's going from strength to strength. Imperial Brands, a slight loser last month, so down 2.19%, but it's still my biggest holding in my ISA, and I've seen a lot of gains from this one, so up over 1.1k, 22%, and I've taken out, I think, 1.5k from this holding as I've trimmed it, and also it's paid me about 1.6k in dividends so far. So this one has really performed well for me. Johnson & Johnson, it saw a decent recovery the month previous, but this month it's down 4%, and overall I'm down 6.6%, but still a solid company, and once its litigation woes are behind it for good, hopefully it will start doing better. KLA up 4.34% last month. I think the spreadsheet was 2 days old where it was losing, but there has been a recovery recently, so this one is doing better in terms of the semiconductor stocks. Elgen down 9.38% overall on this position last month, pretty much sideways, negligible 0.09% up, but a big dividend payer which we got this month, which I will talk about a little bit later on. Leondale, another negligible mover, so it's up 0.08%. Overall, I'm slightly down on this position at 2.64%, but it is a good strong dividend payer, so I'm up if you include the dividends as well. MasterCard, one of my higher conviction stocks. This one and Visa I've been plowing money into recently, so I'm up just under 5.5%, and last month it was up 2.08%, and this is one where I believe is going to do very, very well, and I've got it cheap, I believe. Microsoft up 10% overall for a £428 gain last month, so pretty much sideways, 1.85%, but this alongside Google is my top company in terms of my monthly deposit at 10% that I put into it. MicroStrategy up 22% overall last month. Let's have a look, and it's up 33% as Bitcoin has seen a recent recovery and surge. This is a company that reflects how Bitcoin is moving in the markets, and it's done well. Nvidia up 51% on this for 1.3k gain. Last month it's up 14.32%, which is probably the best performer in the semiconductor space that I have at the moment. Rio Tinto, as I mentioned, there's been a recovery in the commodity space, and this one is up 15.85% in the last month. Salesforce, one of my shorter term holdings. I'm gonna get out of this as soon as I see a decent amount of profit. So last month up 13.2% as it recovers from one bad earnings call in the last quarter, but this is already starting to move in the right direction at a reasonable level. Shell, I'm up 7.21% overall in the last month, though slightly down at 1.84%. Taylor Wimpey up just under 20% overall for a £319 gain. And in the last month, I'm up 2.58%. This is a strong dividend payer as well. It pays a good amount, and so overall, I'm doing well on this one. Tesla, recovering well, so up 14.84% in the last month, and overall, I'm up 14% in this one, and it's one of my other holdings that is above 5k within my ISA. So I'm expecting big things in the future of this company. I believe every portfolio should have a risky stock, and this is my one. Visa, alongside MasterCard, one of my two highest conviction stocks for now, which I've been plowing money into. In the last month, down, it's a bit sideways at 0.46%, and I'm just down on this slightly, but I think there will be a recovery in the next 6 months, which I'm going to benefit from. So that's it overall. The portfolio is doing really, really well. As you can see, just under 12%. Combined, we're at 104.5k, and really happy about this. Now, over to my dividends. Here's a quick reminder of some of the dividend paying companies that I currently hold. So they range from between 1 to 3% and all the way up to 7% plus. There are dividends which I own that are below 1%, which I won't be mentioning, but there's quite a few of those as well. But these are the significant ones. So Centrica and Broadcom between 1 and 3%. 3 and 5% bracket are held by AbbVie, BP, IBM, J&J, ExxonMobil and Shell. Then we get to the higher dividend payers, which are primarily the mining stocks Rio Tinto and BHP, Taylor Wimpey, the UK-based housing company, and LyondellBasell, the chemicals company. And then you've got two big payers, Imperial Brands, which not many people hold. I do, and it's done really well for me, and LNG, which many people do hold. And normally in the social media community, you see lots of postings of people's dividends, which I got one this month as well. So let's go over to the dividend payments overall. So I got 12 payments this month. So September's usually my biggest month per year, and this year is the same. So first payment was from LyondellBasell for £58.59. Second, Visa at £7.06. Then Johnson & Johnson at £19.25. ExxonMobil at £31.46. IBM at £32.39. Microsoft at £8.27. Google at £5.81. Shell at £17.03. LyondellBasell at £58.59. Rio Tinto at £88.76. And the famous Elgen at £97.21. And lastly, Imperial Brands at £65.48. So overall, a combined total of £431 for the month. So I'm really happy with that. So £431 for doing nothing. This is the beauty of dividend investing. You can do your day-to-day role and job or whatever you're doing, and then these companies are paying you on the side. So overall, for the year, I've gone past £2,000, which is a major milestone, which I'm really happy with, and reaching that before October and the last quarter is really good. So let's look at how that compares to last year. So last year I got £510, so it's done slightly worse. But then if you've been following my investing journey, then you will know that I've sold quite a lot of my dividend paying stocks to focus on growth for the time period, as I see a market recovery happening, which you're seeing at the moment from my portfolio as well. But still, £431 is still a really good amount. So if you look at my overall annual dividend history, so last year I got £2,817 overall, and already I've hit £2,070. I'm projected to hit about £2,400 this year, which I'm happy about. And as you can see, the numbers are growing every single year. October, not really a big paying month for me generally. So not expecting too much, but it is what it is. And I will still get good overall payments for the whole quarter. So that's it. So thank you very much for joining me on this portfolio update. I really appreciate everybody. So please like, comment and subscribe so other people can see this, and hopefully this inspires you to start investing or continue investing and join me on this amazing journey. So thanks again, and see you on the next video.